Welcome back to Wondering Wednesday. Put on your seatbelt. Let's take a little ride. Last week I posed a hypothetical. What if our brains worked like a hard drive in that they could only hold a finite amount of memory? You can click on the link in the description to see the short original video where I laid out the groundwork for that. So, what if? I think it would fundamentally change how we experience life and identity. We would face constant decisions about what memories to keep, always needing to create space as we navigate through life. Most would probably develop some sort of a system for deciding what's worth preserving. Would we prioritize emotional significance over maintaining a core set of identity-defining memories? Would we develop a sort of time period-based approach, keeping memories for a short period before discarding them for more recent or relevant ones? What about the loss of growth that comes with the gradual fading of memories? We would lose the richness of how memories interact with each other and inform decisions over time. It would definitely force us to confront what we actually value about experiences and identity. The details of which particular memories to keep or delete aren't as interesting to me as the process and mechanisms of how that would affect us going forward. Purge the wrong memory too quickly and risk losing a vital piece of what makes you, you. Memories don't really go away. Some just become harder to retrieve. There are multiple overlapping processes at work. This is why certain cues, a smell, a song, can suddenly bring back something you hadn't thought of in years. Our brains also have sort of an active forgetting mechanism, suppressing or interfering with certain memories when they may no longer be relevant or even harmful to us. Our brains have sophisticated systems in place to determine what's worth keeping accessible. Important, emotionally significant, or frequently accessed memories get strengthened through a process called consolidation, while more mundane details tend to fade away. Sometimes we don't lose memories so much as they kind of get overwritten by similar newer experiences. So in these ways, it's not like a hard drive, but more like a dynamic, constantly reorganizing system that prioritizes what seems most important for survival, identity, future decision making. So if we could choose which memories to delete, wouldn't the act of deleting them necessarily create another memory of what we were trying to erase? Here's where it gets sticky. If you consciously decide to delete, the very act causes you to interact with the memory again. If you then try to delete that new memory of an old memory, a loop gets started. The only way I can see around this would be to delete an entire block of time from before the original memory was created until the last time you remembered it, which again becomes the moment you decide to delete it. But if the block deletion worked without that little paradox, another question is raised. Since our memories inform our identity and work together with the continuity we experience in life, one thing leads to another. If you delete a traumatic memory, let's say, do you still retain the psychological impact it created? If so, you might be aware that something bad happened, but just not know what it was. How unsettling is that? So what if we chose not to delete anything after our memory was filled? What would experiences without memory creation look like? A consciousness that experiences but can't form new memories would be trapped in kind of a perpetual present, every moment would exist in complete isolation. You'd wake up each day with no knowledge that yesterday happened. Conversations would reset constantly, literally in this instant, every instant. Learning, relationships, adapting to changing circumstances would all be impossible. You'd be frozen at whatever point your memory filled up. No growth, no change, no development based on new experiences. It would be like being conscious but not really alive, at least in any recognizable human sense. Who we are depends on continuity, the ability to connect past experience to present circumstances to future plans. Memory seems to be a vital part of the foundation of consciousness, identity, and meaning itself. Without the ability to create memories, experiences would be profoundly empty, no matter how rich or exciting the individual moment might be. John Vervaeke has this definition of horror that I find to be deeply true. He says, "Horror is the feeling of losing your grip on a situation and being overwhelmed by forces you don't understand, causing you to feel like you are participating in madness because you don't know what's happening." That seems to me to be what I'm describing, horror. You would spend all of your existence, no matter what you were experiencing, creating the memory of not being able to do anything but deleting old memories. Trapped in a perpetual state of involuntary memory replacement, every single moment would be an unconscious act of violence against your former self. The horror is not in just what you're losing, but the relentless, unstoppable nature of it. Endless cycle of creation and destruction where simply existing means destroying your own history. You'd become some kind of a tragic figure condemned to experience life while being simultaneously erased by it. I'm reminded of Sisyphus, but at least he got to journey up the mountain, experiencing the effort, the progress, the brief moment at the summit. But in this scenario, every step would be from the same starting place. No climb, no struggle, no achievement. But at least Sisyphus retains his memories. He can potentially find meaning in his endless struggle. We would essentially be experiencing the first step over and over, but never even knowing that it's repetition. Repetition without the mercy of awareness that it's repetition. This makes me think of the profound relationships between awareness and suffering. Quasimodo, Charlie Gordon. But that'll have to wait. We have arrived at our destination, or at least to the point where you have to exit the vehicle. Thanks for coming along. Let me know what you think about this. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.